What is up guys, Kane here, and in this video we're going to cover up what I was able to achieve in 1 month's time as free to play. So first things first, we will check the rankings, and as you can see there are quite a few guys who are pretty high up there in terms of power, mainly due to artifacts and emblems. Now emblems are quite costly in terms of diamonds, and I'm just gonna be farming them essentially with just the Endless Inferno event and a couple of spins on the Assassin's Creed to get at least one of these Assassin emblem sets. Now, I'm only missing one of them, and after that, I will be stopping. So, well, might as well just go in and try to check if I'm able to manage that. So, let's see. Nope, but I have, well, I got at least another yellow which we could sacrifice in the future. Either way, so, let's start with the units. As you can see, I have Shark Trainer 4-star, I got a duplicate and then I just used 20 Dragon Blood. Just because his shark is quite overpowered in terms of like PvP events and even like PvE events. So I might as well have it a couple of levels higher, and majority of the other skills are just like buffers and slight DPSs. So essentially 20 shards wasn't that much to make this a little bit better SSR. Nothing to go more over him, just that in the early game he's probably one of the better ones, and if you would need him or have a spot on the team, they'll probably just use him as a charger in the future. Now, Venom Spawn. I didn't really yet see any fights with his clones because I was skipping most of them, trying to do quickly while I still had internet the past few days. I didn't even finish one Endless Inferno because it was just taking too much time to load. So yeah, the internet was pretty bad. So he has quite a lot of defense compared to like Demon or Imp. But the thing is, it's still adding on the Ifriti shields like the Flaming Shield, the Red Hot. So the Venom Spawn is quite tanky in terms of how it goes, and he does quite a lot of damage. Now, there is one skill, I believe it's the Ambush, that does damage based on their max HP, which is a reason why I am getting the Assassin Emblem set for the Venom Spawn. So, he's already a pretty huge tank, and I'm able to clear like armies like 4 or 5 times stronger in Endless Inferno. So whenever I get him a couple of stars above, get a proper emblem set, maybe cast it a little bit, because I have, let me see, two, might as well just put another one on. Yeah, might as well. So I have 3 of these yellows, yeah, so not that much, so I think I could cast majority of those assassin emblems to, I don't know, +3 eventually, and then he's going to receive a decently strong boost in terms of damage, in terms of power. And in the early game, I do believe like this unit could be a potential killer and also a tank, because when he, not sure which skill it was, but when he drops to 30%, he's going to drop the ambush and also do a lot of damage. So if you're fighting a stronger guy in terms of like power or whatever, and even if he's going to damage this tank or stun or whatever, the ambush should proc and also heal him while doing insane amounts of damage whenever he hits that 30%. So essentially, if people are grouped or armies and units are grouped, he will be like the best DPS that you can have, at least fighting people that are stronger. It really depends on the compositions, but from what I am going towards, I do believe Venom Spawn will be a core unit in that formation, which is why I'm kind of wanting to deck him out. As you can see, majority of my army units are Inferno, however I will be dropping Devil off quite soon, but I don't have anything yet proper to replace him with. So for the meantime, he's just there because he's an SSR, and eventually we're going to see where we are at with the SRs or SSRs, since this is not my main account and all of these SRs are not 6 stars. But you know, we have to level them up slowly. So the other core thing is the Regnant Archer as well. I made her orange, and she does quite a little bit of damage, and she helps to finish off the low health targets. Same for a 3D's Firestorm, since I'm using the Rashka, he does quite a lot of damage, so majority is just basically Shard Trainer, Venom Spawn, Regnant Archer, and also a 3D. While the others are acting as tanks or like baits, like Devil or whatever, he just dies in a split second, so even his emblems are quite useless in terms of what he can have. So that aside, that is pretty much for the units. Heroes, I have a 2-star Rashka which I am using, and leveling, I have almost a 4-star Jellu. As you can see, 98. I do believe I can make him if I do require a 4-star, but essentially I'm wanting to either keep this for, I don't know, a faction leader. Maybe eventually we're going to get one for free. Who knows, maybe some anniversary events. I mean, the anniversary could potentially revive the game, make it more popular. It really just depends what they will be giving out. I mean, it can be make or break, so we will just have to see. The artifacts have recently hit 410,000, and the highest on my server is 700, so still keeping up decently with it, not really that um, far away in terms of like artifacts. Now, given the fact I'm not buying the artifacts anymore, I'm just using the Astro Silver that I receive and stuff like that, so majority of this is just growing by itself. So the core things to upgrade are like the green ones as like the second or third option. The first one and always should be the Wizard's Well 2 plus 20. Now I can make it plus 11, but it costs like 2 or 3,000, so I will have to probably invest into that quite soon because it increases mana regeneration, which can help in events, and the further you go, then it reduces the enemy regeneration, which is quite required. This is one of the main things to mess up the faction leaders, and if you don't mess up the faction leaders, things like Saron, Dragon Muter, and whatever will just roll over your field quite quickly, so this is a must have at plus 20. And the others do not have these. Essentially, I will have to buy them from their specific weeks, because if you don't get them, you're not going to farm any of this. Like this, for example, I had to buy this from shops so the pieces would start appearing instead of the undead armor pieces, because, well, I'm not going to upgrade this or use this for a very long time because it overlaps with the Angelic Alliance, so this will be my focus at some point in the game. So this one not too important to upgrade, and whenever it costs casting crystals, you should not upgrade it, like even plus 3, and instead just try to focus on something like this, which will give HP and attack on your army, or rather your melee units, which every field will have in terms of tanks, in terms of offensives, and whatever. This one is for ranged army, and again, you have to acquire this the same as like the cloak, the same as I don't think you have to acquire this or this. I think I've started getting them in the shops from whenever I started the game, so the only exceptions are like these three. These ones you can farm. Now, Titan's Thunder, I still don't have it +2 because again, I tried to get +1 on the spellbinders, but as you can see, I just got too many dupes. And in terms of like stats and percentages, I do believe these give the most stats or percentages compared to like this. So for example, this gives a lot less stats, but it gives like magic damage, all that kind of stuff. So if I would get dupes, I would want the Sentinel shield or the armor. But aside from that, free stats, and especially like the hero attack and then like knowledge, they're quite good. In terms of premiums, I got Sword of Frost because I will be going for Sword of Frost as I will not be using the Armageddon's Blade. And the reason I will be using the Sword of Frost is none other than having the silence and increasing magic damage on the enemy. So silence will be quite important for the tanks, or some tanks to lose their tankiness, and even a couple of seconds could potentially be a pretty decent win, or buying time for somebody to kill those tanks, or silencing to remove triggers or stuff like that. So since I'm no longer focusing on Inferno as my main account was, I no longer need Armageddon, so I'm going on a very different route. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. It was just a heads up, and finally I've got back my internet, so videos should come out every day again, or every second day. It really depends on how much time I have on my hands. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay safe out there.